Hey everyone. I have a bad habit of talking too much on the first day of class of the syllabus day and spending too much time on the syllabus. What I did is I went ahead and recorded myself talking about the syllabus in order to give myself a pretty strict time limit for our work on the syllabus so that we could go ahead and start actually working on the classwork. Okay, so I'm definitely not going to read straight through this entire thing. But there is one part I do want to read straight through, and that is this first paragraph here. So if you could look at the sheet you have in front of you, look at where it says quarter three overview. The title I came up with for this quarter is Gender in the Age of Me Too, or hashtag Me Too. And here's what I wrote. On October 5th, 2017, the New York Times published a long, thorough account of how, for decades, movie producer Harvey Weinstein harassed, abused, and assaulted numerous women. Weinstein's status, he is both immensely rich and immensely influential in Hollywood, fueled a firestorm of controversy, and many women felt newly emboldened to speak publicly of past abuse perpetrated against them by men. Many men also came forward with their own histories of abuse, again often perpetrated against them by men. In the ongoing wake of these revelations, the Me Too movement was born. Women and men everywhere began to acknowledge transgressions against them, crimes against them, that they previously had felt shamed or forced to keep secret. Central to the Me Too movement, and indeed central to the abuse that has gone long unrecognized and even longer unpunished, are concepts like patriarchy, misogyny, racism, classism, ableism, homophobia, and transphobia. This quarter, we will examine all of these concepts as we read texts that explore the status of gender in the age of Me Too, hashtag Me Too. I will just say I'm personally really excited to talk about this kind of stuff because I know that I've talked about gender in class before, but I've never had a whole unit focus on it. It's always been kind of an interesting, maybe even a side issue at times, but never it's been a predominant focus, but not for an extended period of time as a way of driving our conversations. So I am really interested to see what you guys have to say about all these issues, and the issues that we read about as well. Okay, so I like to talk about art. I put art on basically everything, but definitely on the syllabus. So I did want to talk about this picture that I put up here at the top of the page. This is from a performance piece that's called Synaptic Fatigue / Deer in the Headlights. And it's really recent. It's from early December 2017, so less than 2 months ago. And it was a piece done by the artist Tara Subkoff, I think is how it's pronounced. And it was done at Art Basel in Miami. And what it was is about an hour-long performance piece with several women on stage telling stories of abuse. Some of them were crying, some of them were they were actresses, right? But some of them were there was dancing and music involved, and it's a really powerful piece. And Tara Subkoff herself is a victim, or not a victim, a survivor, right? And she personally was assaulted by this guy Harvey Weinstein, which kind of kicked off this whole Me Too movement, or let it happen. Facilitated this movement's happening. So. I really kind of think of this piece as kind of an interesting commentary on the status of gender and power in our world today. So anyway, I wanted to put that up there just to kind of give us something to start the quarter with, the quarter with. You see down here, these are the texts we're going to read this quarter. So we're going to look at one longer text. It's still actually pretty short. It's about 100 pages long. A play called Fences by August Wilson. We're also going to look at some scenes from the movie version as we go along. So we're going to read and look at scenes because it's a play, and plays are meant to be seen, meant to be performed and seen. Some shorter essays we're going to look at. Dear Men, It's You Too by Roxane Gay. We're going to start with that. The Infantilizing Ways We Talk About Women's Ambition by Gia Tolentino. On the Realities of Being a Black Woman with a Borderline Personality Disorder by a British writer named Christine Pungang. Young People Get Trans Right. It's Trans Rights. It's Adults Who Don't by Janet Mock. A really old, kind of an older but really cool essay called Some Notes on Lying by Adrienne Rich, who is one of my favorite poets, and an essay called Speaking in Tongues by the master Gloria Anzaldúa. Okay, so on the next page, you'll see a calendar. We definitely don't need to read through all of this, but this is a useful thing to keep in your binder or your notebook or whatever, however you organize yourself in this class. This is it's not quite set in stone, but this is a calendar for all of the stuff we're going to do in here. And it's, even though it's not set in stone, it's about 1 degree below being set in stone. So it's especially useful, like if you are absent on Thursday, you can see what we did. We talked our second day talking about August Wilson's Fences. We started with whatever the reader's zine instructions are. So you still want to talk to me, but you'll know what you missed. Or if you know you're going to be absent, you'll know what you are going to miss, right? You can also kind of look through and see some of the bigger assignments, right? So week 3, we're going to work on our first common task, and that'll be the focus of that week. Okay. Go to the 4th page. This is another thing that we don't need to read through all of, but is also a useful thing to keep in your binder and refer to. This is the gradebook breakdown for this class. And I believe this is the same in your other classes, but this year we have a 90% and 10% split. So 90% of your grade is the all tasks category, and then 10% of your grade is the homework, classwork assigned category, right? Because there's not like a specific split for, I like to split up the gradebook for the 90% all task category. Last year we called them summative and formative grades. This year, I call major assignments and minor assignments. So we have 250 points for the 3 major assignments in this class. That's half of your 90% grade, right? Your all tasks grade. That is 3 common tasks. One is 100 points. The first one's 100 points, and the other 2 are 75 points each. So it's 250 points total. There are minor assignments. These also total up to 250 points. For each common task, we have associated pre-writing, brainstorming activities that are going to total up to 50 points each. We're going to do an SAT practice essay this quarter, an SAT practice test. Both of those are 20 points. We are going to have pop quizzes on fences. There'll be 4 of them, and they'll total up. There'll be 5 points each, so they'll total up to 20 points. We'll finish the quarter with a retrospective journal piece here, and then we are also going to have specific group work, 3 classes, 10 points each for each of those assignments. If you're new to my class, for the homework grade, I like to not have a bunch of homework assignments in the grade book. So I like to have bigger assignments because the grade book looks really messy if you have a million different little 5-point homework assignments. So I guess I might be different from some other teachers in that way. But so the biggest homework grade for us is what's called the extracts assignment. This is your ongoing journal. Last quarter, it was called Field Guide. In the first quarter, it was called Personal Archives. This quarter, it's extracts. It's the same thing with some slight difference in the questions, but it's our ongoing thing that we edit, usually on Fridays, and we write about a page each. We'll talk more about that on Friday. So this is a new thing. I'm calling it the Reader's Zine, and as we read Fences in class, I'm going to ask you to do some creative writing, creative drawing, creative thinking over this book, and we'll talk more about that. I believe on Wednesday, but that is going to be 100 points. And then we are going to have a few more homework grades this quarter. Now that I said I don't like to have a crowded grade book, we will have a little bit more. We're going to have 5 individual worksheets, literary analysis worksheets. So this will replace the in-class notebook. I still want you to keep the in-class notebook for vocab, but we're not going to use it quite as much for the in-class assignments. So, all right, that is essentially it. So we're going to go ahead and start now talking about these issues, gender and the age of Me Too. We're going to start with a little bit of reading. But if you're new to my class, or if I had you last quarter, I'm excited to have you in class, and I'm excited to talk about these issues with you. All right, thanks.